Hey there everyone, welcome back to my crafting world. My name is Anna. So I was asked by a friend of mine, we were talking about making these bags with the punch board. And what I have is the gift bag punch board. So I was told that the instructions were a little bit confusing, and there are so many steps on this thing that yes, it is a little confusing, but once you start making them, they're really, they're really simple. So we're not going to go through the instructions. I'm just going to I'm going to show you how to make your basic bag. And that's what this is, just a basic bag. And the paper that I used is out of the Sugar Blush paper pad from Michaels. So I made this one just really basic, just so you'll know how to make these. And then I also made the one with the holes on the top so that you can string a ribbon and make the closure on the top. So and I hope my table doesn't shake too much. So what you do need to know on the instructions is for your basic bags, there's so many different things that you can do with this punch board. But for the bags, a small bag, your paper has to be at least 10 inches in length, which is the long way. For a medium bag, it has to be 11 inches, and the large bag has to be 12 inches. Now, the width of the bag, say how tall it is, really doesn't matter. You can make it as tall as you want or even as short as you want. But your gusset will always be 2 inches, following the instructions for the punch board. So for this one, I'm going to go taller than this bag. This bag is, I thought I had cut it. Yep. Well, I cut it at 6 inches. It turns out to be, just slightly over 4.5, 4 and a little bit more. So this one, I've already cut this one. This is 12 inches wide, and I think I measured, and 8 inches long. So if you remove, it'll probably be, a couple of inches shorter. So anyway, I've already cut this. This is what we're going to be working with. And this is my front side. And the pattern doesn't matter. It could go either way. Now, if you have a pattern paper, just keep in mind that you're always working with the bottom of your bag. So whatever you want on the top will have to go on the bottom. I hope that makes sense. So again, it just doesn't matter. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our punch board, and it is making the large bag because it's 12 inches wide. So I'm going to, because of the way it's scored, I don't like the score tool. I never use their score tool. I always use my little generic tool. So what I am going to do is I'm going to score on the opposite side of the paper because of the way we're going to fold our paper in. So the very first thing you're going to do is think of it this way. You're going to start right here on your gusset. Okay, so gusset, you're going to do gusset, side, gusset, side. So that'll make sense in a minute. So the very first thing you do is you line your paper up to this start line. So just make sure it's lined up and it is flush to the back, okay? So remember, we're doing gusset. So the first thing you do is you want to punch. Well, that wasn't too bad. And then you're going to draw your little triangle like that with your score tool. You know what? Let me use their score tool. Just so it's easier for you to see. Okay. So you're going to draw, our score, your little triangle, and then this you're going to score all the way down. And if you don't go all the way across, that's fine, because we can always score that later. And then you score across, and then this, you're gonna have to score this line as well. Okay, so that is your gusset, guys. Gusset, okay? So you've already punched. Now what you're going to do is you're gonna bring it over, and you're going to put your little guide right at that score mark. And then you're gonna punch. And then you are going to, you don't score the triangle this time, because you can't have two gussets together. But you are, remember, we're making a large bag. So make sure you've scored across and then score down on your large line. Okay, so there's as far as I can go. And we've already punched. So we move over, remember guys, gusset, front panel, gusset. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut the next gusset. So punch, and then this is our next gusset. So we are going to score our gusset line, and don't score too hard. That's why I don't like this one, because it has that little ball at the end, and the indentation it makes is, it's pretty heavy or pretty deep, or maybe I just score too hard, I don't know. But there, you score your side line, you score your triangle, and go right down the center. Don't forget the line on the top. We need that line. Okay, so yes, we scored. I mean, we punched. I don't know if we punched, but there we go. Yeah, we hadn't punched. Okay, so gusset, front panel, gusset, back panel. Okay, so we're not gonna cut the gusset again, or score the gusset again, but we are going to line our guide with that last score line. And that's a little tough, but we do punch, and then we make sure our line is all the way across, and then we score all the way down. Okay. Oof. Okay, so hope this makes sense, guys. I'll bring it up a little bit closer, but I think you can see gusset, panel, gusset, panel. Okay, now we still need one more punch, which is this one right here. We don't have to do anything to the last one but punch. And actually, yeah, we don't do anything. And there we go, guys. That is our bag. So the next thing we're going to do is we are going to see, this one isn't scored all the way down. Okay, make sure all our lines are scored, because we are going to be folding that. Okay, and I said it doesn't matter, these don't matter. You can either line them back up and score it that way if you trust yourself. I don't trust myself. I don't think I could do it straight, so I'm just gonna fold all the way up to to the top of the bag. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is remove this. We're done with this for now. And then, okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to, I miter these. You don't have to. I miter the corners just so they don't show. I'm going to guess on this one. There. And then just cut the little corner off. We don't need those. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to fold. I'm going to fold these in first, and of course you can use your score tool to burnish. Okay, so there are those lines. Okay, so we're going to fold everything in to form our bag, except this line right here. The middle gusset line we're going to fold out, which is this way. Okay, and look, I'm just pinching all the way to the top, and we still have our score. And there's that little mark that I told you about, that I don't know, that score tool. I've only made that mistake with a score tool. Anyway, so we're going to score. We're going to fold down our gusset. And again, I'm going to go all the way across. Okay, and everything else we fold in. And again, just make sure your top is straight so that you can fold all the way to the top that that we weren't able to score to. This one. And then, okay, and then these, if you notice, they also kind of go in a little bit. So we're going to fold those in as well. Not a whole lot, just okay. I think, oh, look at that. Okay, so I'm going to put a piece of tape on there because I'm not going to do this over. And again, that happens with this tool, and I don't know why, but it does. Okay, maybe I just pressed too hard. I don't know, guys, but okay. See, brand new. Okay, so now the next thing to do is I made one. Well, okay, so I'm going through the basic. So the next thing to do is we need to glue this flap down to here. And I'm going to use my tape runner for that. So I am just going to, you use whatever adhesive you want. Right up to the edge. Okay. There you go, guys. All the way to the edge. Okay. So, and all I do is fold it over. So it'll be straight. That's it, guys. So now our flaps go down, and I am going to, I've been using wet glue. Let me use a little bit of just tape runner so you don't see me stand here and wait. Okay, so there are your sides. Just make sure that they are straight. I am going to put a little bit of adhesive on this side. Okay, so just make sure that they are straight. Sorry, I forgot that part of that one is exposed on the inside. Okay, so just want to make sure it's not going to fall apart. So just make sure your bag is even, whether you do wet, dry, however you do it. And there we go. So one side is down, and the other side I am just gonna go right across with some extra adhesive. Okay, so there is my next side. And then again, just make sure before you press down, make sure it looks even. And it does. Let me see. Okay, and it does. And then I take my my regular bone folder and push down. Here it is. And push down on the inside just to make sure that it is, down pretty good. Or your hand. Okay, and that is the basics of your bag. That is how you get this bag. What I didn't show you, I guess because I knew I wasn't going to do it, was how to put the holes in there for your ribbon. So before I assemble the bag, if I had wanted to do the holes, I would take my board again, and your holes are on this side. You are going to place each score line on this marker right here, except your gusset line. Okay, so it's each line goes on here, and you punch except your gusset lines, because it's punching 2 holes. Let me show you. It is punching 2 holes. Let's pretend this is one of our gusset lines. Okay, I'm sorry, not gusset. Let's pretend it's not the gusset and it's one of the other ones. So you would put it in there, line it up, and punch. And see how it punches 2 holes? So when you do fold it, minus the gusset line, your holes will line up, and you can feed your ribbon through there, or whatever you're going to feed through there. So I don't like the holes, I really don't. So, but this one I did it just so you could see what it looked like with the holes on there. So, so what I am going to do though is, this is a tall bag. Let me see what it turned out to be. Yeah, just over 6 inches. So what I am going to do on this one is I'm going to put a flap on there versus the holes, just because I like this look so much better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my hot glue gun, and I am going to glue it down. And I'm adding a good amount of glue because I don't want it to come up. Okay, so that becomes my flap. Okay, this is my front, this is my flap. Okay, there you go. So I have actually prepared a little embellishment to go on the front. I am going to put a little piece of Velcro for the closure. And again, I'm going to adhere that with hot glue. I'm going to put that right here, about the center. Just eyeball it. Okay, and then of course I am going to put hot glue on this side. And glue that down. I'm going to hold it just for a little bit so that glue will cool down. Guys, isn't that cute? Oh my goodness, that's so adorable. I just love this. And this paper line is from last year's hot buy from Recollections at Michael's. So this is from last year, and I was going to use pink, but I had already used pink on these. Okay, so, and there's your little my OCD, and there's your little bag with the closure. Okay, but I have prepared just a little embellishment right in the front. There's just so many different ways to embellish things. I think I need another glue stick, guys, sorry. Okay, so I am going to and again, plenty of glue so that it doesn't come off. And I am going to put him right there. There's so many different ways to play with these. Alrighty, that way I know it's on there. It's not gonna come off. Actually, I just thought about putting a little some trim there at the bottom. I mean, I could have put it on the top. The only reason I used that was these pretty leaves was because I don't have any thin red trim. Let me see what this would look like. Oh, that would look cute. It's a little too wide though. Okay, so anyway, you can just keep decorating to your heart's content, and that is your little bag, guys. Okay, but I also made this one for my hot cocoa, and I made it the exact same way. The only thing is that I cut out a window, and you can actually cut another, these are nesting dies, so you can cut another die that is a little bit bigger and put a you know, just a little frame around your cutout. And I just, the negative piece, I just inked it up a little bit, put a piece of Velcro. There's my hot chocolate, and then on the outside all I did was put a little wooden spoon and the little wooden coffee cup, and that's it, guys. And you can, of course, you know, there's so many different ways to embellish and decorate that, you know, you just go crazy with these. All right, guys, thanks a lot for watching, and I will talk to everybody later. Y'all have a great day. Thanks.